Hello, this is just another silly rant about everything, storytellers. Storyteller Rant. Okay, the first thing I want to talk about is, and this is a quiz on you, quick quiz. What is wisdom? What is wisdom? Do you know? What is wisdom? I know what it is because I read the Bible. Not because I know, because I read the Bible. So, what is wisdom? I don't even think people teach you wisdom, and if they do, it's very, you know, this, that, this, that, this, that, this, that. What is wisdom? We Christians know this. I mean, we should know it. I mean, it took me a while to know it. And when I read it, I was like, oh, wow. What is wisdom? Not intelligence or how smart you are. I'm pretty smart. I'm getting wiser, but I'm pretty smart, except for how to make money. I know a lot of things. I can do music. You look at my channel. I can do music. Got lots of music going on. I'm not even musical. I can do editing. Well, I don't edit that much, but I can do editing. I can do all kinds of stuff. I can do computer animation, painting, writing. I write books. I've got like 20 books on Amazon. But here's what I can't do. What I don't know how to do is make money. I don't know how to make money. I've been in the CG industry, been there in the deep bowels of it in Hollywood productions and stuff, but I could never just cling on to stay with it and stick with the power political structure and kiss butt and continue down that path. I always wanted that my little stubborn indie path. Never knew how to make money or get money. A lot of people around me who were, I was just as good as or better. I remember would start up their little startups and just get money from people and get jobs. And I'm like, how do they? I don't get it. I never could. I don't have the charisma. I must have like a -7 charisma or whatever it is. I mean, as you can tell. But I could never get that final "you're one of us" in the boys club, thing. And anyway, wisdom. How do you get wisdom? What is wisdom? All right, here we go. I'm also going to do a bunch of political rants. I got stuff ready here. Wisdom is the desire for justice. To seek justice is wisdom. Wisdom is to seek justice. Am I even looking at myself? How am I looking at myself? Wisdom is to seek justice for everyone. That's wisdom. Now, how do you get wisdom? You get wisdom through the fear of the Lord. That's the only way you get wisdom. Now, some people can have bits of wisdom, but then their wisdom comes with evil, or maligned or twisted. The fear of the Lord is wisdom, because when you fear the Lord and his 10 commandments and the rules and all that, you fear someone is going to get you no matter what you do. So you better be fair to others. That has to be as childish and fably as you want. You have to have that ingrained in you as a little child on up to have that fear of the Lord in order to be wise. Because the only way you're going to be wise is if you fear something greater than you. If you're an atheist, you're not going to ever be wise. Now, you might have bits of it, only because everyone's got you in the corner or because you don't have the power you're seeking. You don't have whatever it is that you need to get to tyranny. Atheists are always want to be little mini gods, right? And the God laid it out at the very beginning. He told us at the very beginning what was going to happen. He said, if we deny him, the serpent told Eve, if you don't listen to God, you can be your own God. That is the goal of every unchosen, every atheist, every Muslim, every Mormon. I don't like Mormons, progressives, faux Christians, every non-Christian, every pagan, every witch. Their desire is to be their own little powerful, little tyrant mini god and to control. And the only way they use wisdom is if it's in a manipulative way to get past this stage so they can get to the next stage. If they're caught. One time, some guy called me because I left a note. I hit his rear view mirror thing. When I was driving by, I got too close and hit it. And I left a note saying I'll pay. And he's like, it's so amazing you called it. And I said, well, I believe in God. God's gonna get me in the end. So, and he's like, quiet. I'm just like, but that's the truth. I even when no one is looking, I want to be fair. even when no one is looking, and I'll never get caught by anyone, I still want to be fair. I don't want to screw anyone over. It isn't, I don't even feel guilty getting away from you. I feel guilty getting away from God because I won't. That is wisdom. Wisdom is the desire for justice all the time, not partially, not part of the time, all the time. Now I'm still an asshole, but I'm still an a-hole. I still am, for sure. I'm still a jerk, but I don't want to oppress or, steal or control anyone. So let me go through. That's the secret of wisdom. The fear of the Lord is the secret of wisdom. The meaning of wisdom is the desire for justice, and you can only have that as a Christian. No other religion has that. No other religion has this. They all want to go to heaven, but they go to heaven because of what they do, right? Muslims go to heaven because of if they kill you, they kill the unbeliever, and die, martyrdom, they'll go to heaven. They're heaven. They do their prayers. They do this. They do that. Every religion is about doing something for the Lord or for heaven or for your. The witches do offerings and sacrifices. That's how they get their powers over others. And the witches, the whole thing is to get power over others. The life cheats, the rape drugs, they call love potions. They're rape drugs. They sell them to get power over others. So every other religion, and Judaism, you're in this too. So I'm taking you on. If they follow the 10 Commandments, they'll be saved by heaven. They're God's chosen people. Anyway, that's a little weird and tricky, but I love chosen people. Don't get me wrong there. But if the Jews are all about, I do this, I am good. I am, so God, you can never attain God's, his minimal request is you have to love him with your whole heart and might. And it says it in the Old Testament. Somewhere in there, there's like once or twice or something. I forgot, but it's like, whoa, there it is. You have to love, forget about the animal sacrifice. Forget about it. Love me with your whole heart and might. Can you as a Jew do that? And I'm not trying to corner Jews or anything, but can you do that? Can you love him with all your whole heart and might? Give up everything else. Give up your fame, your success, and I don't mean give up in the sense of give it up, but give it up for the Lord, for God, give it up. Can you do that? And so that's the thing about Christianity is, and I'm Calvinist here in the sense of God is in control of everything. If God is sovereign and in control of everything, I am not, including my own salvation. And you all are like trying to the non-Calvinists out there, and I'm not trying to attack you, but think about it. You're trying to figure out a way to give yourself free will in this. You're trying to figure out a way to I did this. Give it to God. Give it all to God. God led you. God brought you through. But I have free will. So what? Fine. You got free will. Do what you want. What are you doing? You don't need to cling to free will or I'm a good person, so I chose to be saved. I'm wonderful. No, you're a sinner. We're all sinners. We're all imperfect. God doesn't need perfect, by the way. He doesn't need it. He is perfect, right? So think about that logically too. If God is perfect, there's no need for if he's the very tip of the triangle, the pyramid, the Trinity. There's no need for anything else. He doesn't need another God. He's got Jesus. So you got Jesus. You don't need anything else. And the Holy Spirit. So he doesn't need anything else. So when he creates this world or creates this thing, he's creating this for his glory, but he's also creating us to have imperfections because otherwise, what's the point? What's the point if you can be a God and do anything you want? The point is this game of life that we have, and where we are imperfect, and we are struggling, and we are going through this, and we have wicked people, and we're dealing with wicked people, and there's no limit to that wickedness except death. Thankfully, death is actually an escape for us to game over. I can't handle this anymore, and go back to God. But this world is we wouldn't have the blues. We wouldn't have goth music. We wouldn't have whatever it is that you love and adore without the pains and sufferings and things that we're going through. The joys that I wouldn't have this cool helmet and the swords if we didn't have this crazy wicked world. So my coffee's already cold. Okay, I want to go through some stuff. I'm just gonna do my little rants and yibby yabs and stuff like this. So man, I love jalapeno, jarred jalapenos. Man, I love that stuff. And look at that. They're putting meth heroin in it. The evil just cannot stop making, they just can't stop their evil. Pushing drugs, they just can't stop them. All right, this is awesome. The guy, the Doge, I'm really, this whole Doge thing with Elon Musk, and I've just watched the video on it, so it's bigger news than me, but the way they're attacked, they did this during the first Trump, and I remember Bush, when I first became sort of political during the Bush year period of 8 years, they kept screaming at how President Bush would hire, have an AG or whoever he hired in his staff, and they kept screaming at how they were so political, these appointments, and the AG and stuff. How dare that they do what the president wanted? They're supposed to be independent. They're supposed to be. They keep the Democrats, whenever they're not in power, they for these like little independent things, little separation of powers. I'm going to go to this one here. The state rights. They keep screaming about that in the media whenever a Republican's in office. Then when Obama was in office and when Biden was in office, they were silent and or supported every time the AG holder of the Obama and then the freaking Merlick of Garland or whatever the hell his name was of Biden, how they would so political, so attacking the Republicans and all that, and very doing exactly what Obama or Biden wants. And the media and the Democrats are totally fine with it. But whenever a Republican gets in, they scream, and they're doing that right now. They're constantly screaming. They're little mini gods with no wisdom. They're AOCs who scream. I got some hair on me. They scream and go after and hatred because they're losing their power. They can't stand when they lose their power. When they lose the USAID, that whole embezzling of money, and it's not our money they're embezzling necessarily. It's our children's money that they're embezzling. They're taking future money already digitally and then cashing it out. They're stealing generations worth of our children, our family, my family, all my taxes that we've been paying, my children's taxes is going into this embezzlement that Democrats are doing. The media is totally on board with because they want to be their own mini gods. They want that money, they want that wealth. They don't care. They're fine with stealing it from your children's children. They're so fine with that. If they're going to murder the unborn, they have no problem stealing from everyone. And why is this happening? It's so powerful because our church culture is diminishing. There's going to always be evil and corruption. Even in the church, there's going to be evil. Even in the New Testament, there was dissension amongst the churches and failures amongst the churches. So there's nothing unchristian about what I'm saying here about the failures of churches, and I'm going to get to it here in a minute. But we are waiting for Jesus to return because of this corruption that's constantly happening, and we are battling this corruption constantly. We have to be vigilant and rebuke. And the best way for you to do it, the best way for you to do it peacefully, and with love and with comfort, and is to be in a church, grumble and mumble there with other churchmen, fellowship, and do men stuff together, men fellowship, and strengthen yourselves, strengthen your children to then go out and become citizens of this world that shine a light to it. You have to do it from the church though, because you cannot do it alone. Don't do it alone. Don't be an agnostic atheist or something stupid like that. You've got to be part of a group that sort of helps support each other and educates their children to further along this thing. And do not be ashamed of anything that Christians have done, including what Catholics have done. The Inquisition, the witch trials were all, you can see now, they were absolutely warranted. Crusades were warranted. Do not be ashamed. Do not allow the atheists to rewrite history. Do not allow them to do the whole party switch thing. That is a bunch of crock. The party switch, like, oh, Republicans are, and by the way, when I say Republicans, I mean Republicans who are shackled to church members. Republicans that are shackled to the church are good. Republicans that become sort of, I don't know, whatever, secularist or atheist or even the gay movement that becomes too freaking arrogant or Mormonic or whatever, no, that's not the Republican Party I'm talking about. I'm talking about the ones that are evangelist, hardcore, Calvinist, if you're Catholic and Orthodox that are strong, that's fine too. I'm not trying to dog you, but although the Pope and he's got a problem with his legal immigration thing. There's some corruption, plenty of corruption going on in the Catholic Church. Anyway, and I like that the Protestant Church is all spread out and broken up. That limits the power of the Protestant Church. I like that, and that's something you Catholics got to be very weary of concerning the Catholic Church, the hierarchy. Okay, so this is great that he's rehiring the guy that said racist marks, and it's so awesome that Elon Musk and Doge are totally political, totally doing what the president said. And remember, they said he's unelected. That's so pathetic of them. You know, it's such that they're using the same crap again. I'm just glad that Trump is stronger, because the first term of Trump, I had such a headache. Every other week, you know, and I was watching Fox News, and the left wing media was way more powerful 8 years ago, influential on everything, including the courts and all that, and attorneys and all that stuff. But they would, every other week, they would accuse him of something new, of Trump, of something new, and it would just devastate and hinder his ability to get anything done. And he was trying to work with Democrats then, so now he's not working with them at all, which I really appreciate. You can't work with evil. You have to rebuke it. You have to rebuke it and subdue it and shut it up. The Catholic Church, the church, our church doesn't allow evil to work with evil. We do not work with Democrats or evil in our church, the Grace Community Church, the big church. We do not work with people that want to get homosexuality. We do not work with people that want to, just murder some of the babies. We don't work with those people. We don't allow them in our church. We don't allow women pastors. We don't allow women to talk and yell. Here's something about our church I actually want to mention. I was at my daughter's restaurant last night, and one of her friends came, and we actually we had her sit with us, and 20-year-old young women, beautiful women, and but we had her with us. My wife and I, we had a date night or whatever. It was like just go and hang out at the bar and get some food. Super fancy restaurant, one of the best in LA. Super fancy, very expensive, and then. That's why I don't go that often. But anyway, we get lots of free stuff. We had the sommelier came, and he took us through a journey of all these fancy wines, and then we got the family plan or discount or whatever. Anyway, so what I'm saying, and then another of the friends who's a daughter of was there, and she's beautiful too, and we're hanging out and talking. Here's what I'm saying about that. We love them, they love us, all of them. And then us, my wife and I are there. We're all married, and they're all looking, in courting. The two are courting, and one more she's ready to court, for a man. Their parents are all married. We're married, and we're all 50, 60 years old. We're all married. Every other parent I know, kind of in my church, they're all married. Like, we don't have like this divorce or adultery. Now there is some in the church. There is. So don't get me wrong there, but. On the whole, on the average, these young women are looking at us and seeing we're married for life. We love each other for life. We're joyful for life. And my daughter sees that and knows that, and both my daughters see that in us and expect that from the man that they're with. And they love Jesus. The other two young ladies that are awesome, they're very talented. They're going to be future restaurateurs. They're just amazing. But they see that in their families, in their fathers and mothers, and that's what they expect too. To be married to a man. Now, nothing's guaranteed. God isn't giving us guarantees in this world, but that's what they're aiming for. That's what they're expecting out of their young men, and the men see that in us, and we talk to them openly about it. My daughter is in a courtship, and the young man has talked to me about it, so it's not just dating. So my point being, a church. You need to find a church. Now, if you're in a church where everyone's crazy and nutsos, you need to talk to the pastor. Say to him, "Hey, everyone at this church is crazy and nutso. What's going on here?" I know a person. I don't want to go directly. Blah blah blah. I know a person that's in a church, and then this person is this husband, divorce, adultery, all this. Like, maybe there's something wrong with your church. Maybe these people are not freaking learning the truth and being part of the truth. And in my church, women cannot be pastors. Remember, I've told you guys this before. Leadership to us is defined to us Christians as service. So when we say I lead my wife and I know exactly what I'm saying, but I also know that is a responsibility of me to protect her, to be, to make sure that the world is what it is for her, and she doesn't have to think about those things. I think about those things. She's happy. All the women at our church are very happy, and she goes to a women's group, and they all do their women thing, and they'll have sometimes some men there, and then a lot of women speakers too. But there's no women pastors, and you know what? The women, they're like, yeah, great. I don't want to lead this crap, this craziness. The men deal with the craziness. The women don't have to. They deal with other things. They got plenty of things to deal with. They deal with the kid craziness. Okay. So this state rights thing here, I'm in California, so California is going to ignore Trump's executive order and do their own states' rights. That is another thing that we constantly see too. The whole hypocrisy of them saying that the Republicans are the party switch, which is a lie, but that we want states' rights, and now they're saying they want states' rights and ignore his. Freaking Democrats want to put men into women's sports and beat the hell out of and injure women. That is so pathetic. And Trump did the executive order to protect women because the Democrats and the pagans are so powerful in the culture and ramrod us with this deception. But here it is again, Democrats jumping on the states' rights thing. And they jumped on the states' rights thing because back when Abraham Lincoln was in power, not because they were Republicans, but because Republican was in power. And when Abraham Lincoln gained power, the slave owning state Democrats, who are still slave owning today, they still have slaves. They're called illegal aliens. That they have their maids. They're forcing every one of us to use slave labor, which is exactly what an illegal alien is. An illegal alien is slave labor by definition. They don't have the same rights as we do. They don't get the same health care and benefits as we do. I mean, they're getting it, but it's through underhanded ways. They're not full equal citizens. And Democrats love that, and they want to pour more of them into America. That's why they were doing it. That's part of why they're doing it. They want a slave voter class too. But so this is just another, and I'm not here to convert Democrats or pagans or evil. I'm here to shore up your strength in the Lord, shore up your understanding of conservatism and the Republican Party and the history of it, that you can have confidence in knowing that what you're at and what you're fighting against. The first tool of evil is deception. They will deceive. They will pretend that Elon Musk is not voted in. Yet when every single one of his voters saw him jumping around on that stage for Trump and begging us to vote for him, and they had already brought up Doge before Doge was even real, and we all voted for that. And yet the Democrats are screaming now that he was not voted in. That's so pathetic. It's so evil is so petty and pathetic, and that's the part that gets me. God, dear Lord, the pettiness of evil is so pathetic. The pettiness of the laws that are being passed here in California, state-wise, is so pathetic. The things they do, that plastic straw thing, and the paper, that is the paper straw. Forcing restaurants to have paper straws is so pathetic. It's so petty. The pettiness. The laws that they have here are so petty and disgusting. It's just, God, the worst. Passive aggressive is the worst. Passive aggressive and pettiness is the worst. Okay, here's something. Look at this. They're having attendees at a UK furry convention warn not to harass other species, promote pedophilia or bestiality. This is, by the way, if you want to play For the Lord RPG, any of these up here, see, here's your creatures. Here's you guys are like, oh, I can't have orcs or goblins. Well, there you go. There you go. There you got your bugbears right there. You can always make orcs and stuff. Pagans dress up like whatever, so you can dress them up as orcs and have them run around and be an orc clan, the orc clan of Norway. Why not? They all put on blackface and run around and sharpen their teeth and are cannibals. Totally do that. So what? There's that's. And the reason in the Dark Ages when I want to keep it earthbound is because it's just simpler for Bible stuff, for evangelism and church planting. It's just simpler. You can have as many pagans are crazy, so you can do all kinds of crazy, bugbear trolls things. But look at this. They have to tell. So these people, I love this gif here. He's trying not to laugh. They always put that one in there, but they're like, the code of conduct for artwork also states, so they're going to bring in artwork, no zoophilia or bestiality involving humans or largely human-like characters, with animals or largely non-morphic characters. Four-legged is allowed. I don't. So they don't want you to. Please don't depict bestiality, or pedophilia, right? Or cub porn, porn with cubby animals, baby. So. That's exactly what they want to do. They're hiding what they really want to do, and they're asking them not to do it because we need to sell this to the mainstream. So they're trying to lie. They're trying to promote this and lie to us about what they're really about. It's a perversity. It's pathetic. It's so stupid. It's kind of cute, but it's stupid. I do have a fetish for cosplay, I will say. Yeah, I have more of a fetish for goth, I think. Well, I just love the music of goth music. I just love goth music, and the fetish of it is, it's okay. Cosplay is definitely like bubbly fetish, the superhero chick thing. I gotta admit, I don't masturbate to porn, so I'm strong in that sense. Like I'm a sinner, but I'm just saying. But but um, I just gotta state clearly all this kind of stuff. But I don't have a fetish for this. This is retarded. But anyway, and I don't have any porn or adult sites. The only my main porn fetish is the Daily Mail, the celebrity stuff. But it lasts for like 12 seconds, and then I'm like, I just want to know what you know what I gravitate towards when I look at the mail. Here, let's do it real quick. I'm kind of curious. Daily Mail. That's my porn, like my silly porn. I always go to this. I don't know what this is. Oh, Ben Affleck's son. So you know what I always gravitate towards when I go to the Daily Mail is like, what's their family life like? I want to know. Obviously his is failing, and this is an old article, but and his kids are like trans now or whatever, and I could tell he just bleh. So, but anyway, on the right here, like, ooh, look at the porn. Well, it's actually pretty mild right now. Maybe because it's Oscar season. I don't know. They usually have like breasts everywhere, right? I don't see any. That's really weird. Is it because it's winter? Maybe because it's cold. But in the summer, they always have breast people, like bikinis, and they're in their exotic locations. But I always want to know, like, I kind of look here, but I want to know celebrity news in a sense, sort of. Not really. I don't know what it is, if it's celebrity or what is going on in the celebrity world. But I always gravitate towards the family stuff here. Oh, look, here's Kelsey. But no, I don't know. Oh, that's Kelsey and whatever. Anyway, but yeah, but see, this is what I generally want to. I want to know, like, dang, what's going on here? What's going on? Oh man, I'm just kind of sad. How are they doing as a father with their children? That's kind of what I gravitate towards. But anyway, that's my porn fetish. Daily Mail. Okay, let's go on. Let's move on. Furries, pagans. This is what they. Christianity today. Well. Look what you know. We all been seeing that Christianity today has been totally progressive, right? It's just disgusting. They always defend Biden, attack Trump. Trump is diminishing women's rights. Well, what about abortion? What about the horrors of murdering babies in the mother's womb? What about that? They never bring that up. It's so obvious what's going on in these. God, but it turns out they have been getting millions from the Biden. So so the Democrats hate Christian nationalism. They attack Christians for daring to bring their faith into government. They hate them, but then they're funding money to specific Christians to push the satanic agenda. They're exposing it. This guy, wouldn't you know? Oh, here's funny. The revelations about taxpayer dollars going to Russell Moore's Christianity Today magazine and St. Louis's Revoice conference, not to mention other recipients, suggest that America does have a real Christian nationalism problem, and it's on the political left. Mind blown. Of course, Democrats will their first tool is deception. They're lying to us about separation of church and state, whilst putting millions, embezzling it through USAID to satanic Christianity, false Christianity, murdering babies Christianity, because they don't care. See, they don't have the fear of the Lord in them. They don't have wisdom. There's no wisdom. I remember reading about how no one likes Obama, like even the people that work for him, because he's so arrogant. Like nobody likes him. He's just an arrogant because he doesn't have the fear of the Lord in him. I am an arrogant bastard. I am. I'm an asshole, but I have the fear of the Lord in me, so I'm constantly working on it. And each time I am an asshole to somebody, I know I am, and I gotta do better. I gotta work on this. I gotta, tell them sorry or try to be nicer to them. So it turns out they're making millions from the government. Christian partners around the world suddenly fired, defunded, and without answers, worry that the new administration is done with USAID. Christianity today sucks. Burn in hell is my wish. That's how bad of a Christian I am. I actually want people to go to hell. That's pretty bad because God doesn't want us to think that way. So please forgive me, God, but I do. I want him to go to hell. All right. No, I know that's not good. Great numbers of children living in two-parent household increases and continuing upward trajectory. Okay, I was going to just bring up this about my church and the daughters and how they, that thing. So I'll just skip this. That's kind of what I wanted to say about that. That's really it. But if you're in a church where they don't have, where families are messed up or there's a lot of adultery going on, something's wrong with the church. Fix it, build it up, help the pastor, deal with it. That's the best thing to do. Deal with it. Get involved. We need to have a Wednesday night marriage counseling group or blah, blah, blah. We need to talk about this or, whatever it is. I mean, you're there to help the pastor. The pastor there is to help you. So remember, the pastor is not a all powerful person. Ooh, I want to talk about something. So I have a new person who's going to church and trying to be a Christian, learning about it. And I told him, this is so cool. I told him, let me get the quote up. Let me pause. Yeah, I'll just talk while I'm doing this. I told him, okay, I said, look, I'm trying to just help him out with Christianity. And I said, and he was going to go to the church service. And I said, look, the pastor is there to teach us how to read the Bible. Okay, he's there so that we can become our own, theologians or Christian. We can become our own Christians. So he's there to teach us how to read the Bible. I was telling him that. I was trying to keep it simple. Just FYI, that's what the pastor is doing when he does his sermons. I gotta find it. Oh, where is it? Where is it? Oh, maybe it's just in... Okay. So. Okay. It's funny. Whew. Okay, let me go to this. So I told him, that's the whole thing of the pastor. He's trying to teach you and me how to read the Bible so that we can go on and read it ourselves or go into our little men's Bible study groups or whatever and study it for ourselves. We become independent purveyors of Christianity. We're not slaves to the pastor. The pastor is a teacher. He doesn't rule us or own us. Okay, that's the Christian church. The pastor does not own you, or lead. He's not a leader serving us. He can't tell us how to live our lives. He has to teach us how to live our lives so that we can, and then teach us how to read the Bible so we can learn how to live our lives correctly through the Word. And so let me show you this. And then guess what the sermon was on that very day. So, and it was a series. Colossians 1:28. We proclaim him, admonishing, teaching everyone with all wisdom, so that we may present everyone perfect in Christ. To this end, I also labor, striving with all his energy, working powerfully within me. So that was I was like, dang, this is what I told him this morning before we went to church. Not this morning, the few weeks ago. Whatever. Okay, so that was pretty cool. Where am I at here? Prestigious academic publisher adds, DEI requirements for peer-reviewed submission. So I just want to bring up this article in the sense of science is taken over by pagans and atheists, and they don't actually follow science anymore. Science, right? That's another sad thing I keep bringing up. I'll turn this off. But this article is about how their peer review is so political now, right? You have to they want to know your race and sex and stuff even before you even. What does that have to do with science when you're doing a peer review article or doing science papers and stuff? They're asking you that for their whatever, and they also know that the peer review is not working. Like they're literally allowing stuff to go on and on through peer review, and then they every time a peer review science paper is not properly peer reviewed, which they say is like 70-80%, that becomes like canon, like a law in science, so that when you're doing another test, you can go ahead and take that peer review and then take it on to your thing and say, yeah, this is already canon, so I'm going to use this as part of my science paper. So the science papers are becoming so inbred, they don't even test anymore. They just look at other, so the lies grow. The lies grow now because whenever something gets peer reviewed in some acclaimed paper, this GIF here is bugging me on the side of my eye here. Let me get out of this. Okay. So the science now is becoming a lie, and they've even found it in medical stuff where they were misdiagnosing people because they were following these peer reviews. There's even an article on it. I put it on another video, but anyway. But it's just, and it kind of got inbred, and they found that the medicine doesn't do anything, and it was like a multi-billion-dollar business. There's a lot of that going on in the science because they just don't care. They are their own mini gods. They're not seeking wisdom. They don't care about the peer review being truly peer reviewed. They care about it being canon and law and putting it in the power of being a mini god to control everyone else. That's what they care about. The lie and deception doesn't matter to them. So that is the theme of this video. The wisdom is this your desire to constantly, not partially, not a little bit, all the time, your desire to all the time seek wisdom. Seek justice. Seek justice. Now, none of us are perfect. So that's where we start at. I'm not perfect. Thus, Leslie, my justice needs to be carefully considered, figured out. But the left doesn't care about that. The left doesn't care about that at all. They will use wisdom, or they will use justice if it works for them. But if it doesn't, they'll use something else. They constantly are seeking power over others, including sexual power, financial power, luxury, having that position of master over slaves. They desire that all the time. You notice that they have people all around them that are groupies, that are slaves to them, that are kissing them. That's another creepy thing too about being a celebrity, man. You're constantly surrounded by groupies, not like inner circle groupies, right? And there's a lot of gay people in that and they all bring each other in. They swarm the celebrities and become their little advisors, their little whatever they're called. What's that called? I don't know. It's not a wolf pack. What is it? It's a pack. It's the groupies. There was a show about that, right? I forgot what it's called, but they have that little kiss butt, slavery mentality of with the master but they're snide and anyway. So that's my little rant this morning because I just felt like talking. And now I'm done for the day. I got things to do. Oh, I got to work on this. All right, I'm almost done, man. I'm getting there. I don't need to, I'm just proofreading the lot of the stuff that I've been doing for my Dark Ages. If you've been this far, so this one's almost done. I really, it's all about practicing evangelism in this game, but getting to fight monsters and do all kinds of crazy role-playing game stuff. So that's one thing I'm working on. The other thing I'm working on is I'm working on Alfred 6, and I might as well just do a little commercial here. Don't go just yet, please. So here's my books again. Just want to remind you, I've got these on Amazon. If you want a zombie apocalypse, Night of the Dead is there. My Alfred series, I've sold like 1,800 books so far over 4 or 5 years now. So it's not many, not a lot. So I'm just hoping more people could do it. And I could really use some reviews if you bought any of my books on Amazon. An honest, awesome review or whatever. But anyway, and then there's my Christians or my For the Lord books that have come out here. I haven't sold that many of those, but that's my life. That's what I'm doing. But I'm definitely working on Alfred 6. It's coming along. I've got over 100 pages on it now already, and it's really cool. I really love that as I'm writing it, it's so easy. Like it's weird. It's not hard to write it. Like it's hard to get going, and then I can only write a little bit because once I hit like a really good ending point of a chapter, I can't go on because I have to start up again on the whole new chapter, and I have to it's really weird. I can only write like a chapter a day on it because it's just emotionally, and I don't feel like I'm writing either. I feel like I'm transcribing. I feel like I'm watching them, and I'm just trying to write what they're doing, because I know them. Like I know them, even though I don't feel like I know them. Whenever I read them, I don't feel like I wrote these. I'm like, wow, these are okay. They're really good. They're amazing. There's an amazing, so many little cool, amazing chapters in there. But I don't feel like I wrote it because I can't remember what happens a lot of the time. It's a little hilarious. I talked to my sister, who's the editor. She's the same thing. She's like, I can't remember what happened. Oh my gosh, that's right. That's what happened. Whenever we read it, because we actually kind of reread it every few years, like together, or whatever. Read the whole series again. And I just reread it all just now before writing Alfred 6. And I'm just like, man, reading it, I'm just like, it just exhausts me. I don't know how Anyway, it's a really great series. It's for adults technically, but secretly, but I wrote it for kids too. The Night of the Dead is definitely for dads. That's what that one's really for. Moms can read it too if they want. And the Comics of the Evermire, I don't know who that's for. It's very D&D. It's fun. I made it to be a fun, silly little break. I plan on writing stories now. Once I finish Alfred 6 and then start on 7, but it depends on my time frame. But I really plan on. I want to write some stories based on evangelism go. I want to do an Apostles of the APOC one for starters because it's a very easy setting and fun setting. But and I'm gonna do it a very I want to do it very the story. I want to play solo RPG, or I might do it with people or not talk about it, think about it. But I want to like create a story from the actual role playing game. You know, the actual thing that I do, and write that story like that. That'd be kind of interesting. If I could get a dedicated group to do that, play the game and be these characters, I would love to do that. I mean, I would they would help me in it, so we'll see. But I don't know. That could be kind of fun. It could be it's an experiment. It could be a success or a failure. I don't know. I'd have to anyway. All right. In the game of life, everybody, roll holy dice. Be Christians, man. Don't be afraid. Don't be ashamed. We're awesome. We have wisdom, the fear of the Lord in everything that we do when people are not even looking. That is what is so awesome about Christ and the Bible and God. God created this world. He created this game of life, and he gave us the truth to, as the chosen, to figure it out. And that's the free will part. How good of, as already being saved, already being chosen by God, how kind of cool and awesome and you know, are you in this world at trying, not success, because I'm not going to be successful at it, but just trying. How good are you at trying? That's your free will. If you want free will, that's it right there. How good are you at trying? Failing, succeeding, failing, maybe a little success. But how good are you at just constantly trying to serve the Lord and do something for the Lord and love the Lord? How good are you at that? That's your free will part right there. Decide on that. When you come across people, how good are you at your love for the Lord? If you believe that you've chosen to be saved or you've chosen free will to be saved, whatever. How about this? How good are you at doing so? If you're saved, then if you've chosen to be saved, which I don't believe you are, but if you believe that, what are you doing for the Lord then? So you know you're going to heaven. So okay, so what are you doing for the Lord? Are you just being peaceful and quiet, or are you doing something for the glory of the Lord? Are you doing the Great Commission? That to me, that's even more important than whether you're Calvinist or not. What are you doing for the Lord? Just to get your your Catholic, your Orthodox, your Christian faith out there for the Lord. That's more important to me. I mean, in a sense. So, getting people to have that compassion, that wisdom, the wisdom. If getting people to have wisdom is to me a really wonderful thing. So, and the only way they can have it is if they fear the Lord, and that Jesus Christ is their Lord and Savior. They fear the Lord. The only way they can have that wisdom is if they fear the Lord. There's no other way, because any other wisdom, in the sense of not having God as an ultimate judge of yourself, you're going to creep into the soft creep into selfish delusion. Okay, in the game of life, everybody, roll holy dice, and I got a West Marches thing going on. So if you have gotten this far, then that's you've passed the test. And if you'd like to be in our West Marches, please contact me. Because we have this ongoing games I'm trying to get going. I've got a few people in it, but not many. It's a West Marches type of thing, where you just jump in on the post-apocalyptic type of mission as a missionary and can go out on missions and exploration and have some fun playing a role-playing game. All right, the game of life, roll holy dice.